All right, let's dive into a really fascinating take on the whole Donald Trump versus Nicolás Maduro showdown. The source we're looking at today starts off by painting one of them as a clear villain, but you're going to want to stick around because this story is anything but black and white.
So right off the bat, the source frames this as this incredible act of intervention. You can see it in the quote here. It paints a picture of Donald Trump treating the entire world like his father's shop, just going ahead and appointing a trustee to a whole other country. This really sets the stage for a story about raw, unapologetic power. So how do we understand a move like that? Well, the source argues you can't just look at the action in a vacuum. Nope. To get it, you have to understand the man who made the call. And that's where the narrative begins, with a really detailed portrait of Donald Trump. And they go deep. This isn't just about Trump the president. The source constructs this pretty critical profile of him as a product of a, let's say, very specific family history and business career. And this is where it gets really interesting. The source doesn't just start with Donald Trump. No, it goes back 3 generations, tracing this pattern of controversy. It presents his grandfather as an immigrant who ran brothels, his father as a developer arrested at a KKK riot, and then Trump himself, who, famously avoided the Vietnam War before jumping into the family business. And his business career? Well, it's laid out as this total roller coaster. The source highlights all these high-profile, flashy ventures, airlines, casinos, beauty pageants, even Trump University. And it's quick to point out that a whole lot of them ended in either bankruptcy or some serious legal trouble. And get this number, over 4,000 lawsuits. The source presents this as the direct result of that roller coaster career. The argument is that his professional life wasn't just defined by big deals, but by constant, relentless legal fights. And then the source just lays out this whole history of controversies that really shaped his public image. It points to allegations of racial discrimination, just like with his father, the fact that all his books were ghostwritten, his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, the hush money payments, and of course, everything surrounding the 2020 election. So what's the point of all this? The source basically ties it all together to say, look, his aggressive move in Venezuela, it wasn't some surprise. It fits perfectly with this profile they've built of a crooked businessman and a rootless politician whose entire career is just filled with controversy. Okay, so you're thinking, you know where this is going, right? We've just built this whole case against Trump. But then, bam. Just when the narrative seems totally locked in, the source completely flips the script on us. And it hits us with this killer question. It forces us to stop and rethink everything. Okay, so maybe Trump is the bad guy. Does that automatically make Maduro the good guy? It challenges that simple good versus evil story we thought we were getting. So let's do it. Let's look at that other side of the coin. The spotlight now shifts completely over to the man Trump was up against, Nicolás Maduro. And the portrait painted here is one of, well, total and complete collapse. The story of Maduro's Venezuela begins with this mind-bending paradox. On one hand, you have a country that is literally sitting on the largest proven oil reserves in the entire world. We're talking more than Saudi Arabia. But on the other hand, you have a nation in absolute catastrophic crisis. So how did this happen? Well, according to the source, Maduro didn't build the system himself. He basically inherited it. Hugo Chavez used all that oil money for popular social programs, which was great. But at the same time, he was taking apart the country's democratic institutions, piece by piece. And then, right before he died, he handpicked his successor, Nicolás Maduro. And under Maduro, the economy didn't just stumble. It absolutely nosedived into a freefall that's hard to even imagine. The source cites this staggering peak hyperinflation rate of 1 million %. I mean, it's a number so big your brain can barely process what it even means. So what does 1 million % hyperinflation actually look like for a regular person? Well, this slide just nails it. Imagine working an entire month, a full month's labor, and your whole salary isn't even enough to buy a single hamburger. That's how completely worthless the money became. And what happens when a country collapses like that? People leave. I mean, look at these numbers. Out of 28 million people, 8 million fled the country. That's nearly a third of the entire population becoming refugees. It's just a staggering humanitarian crisis.
And for the people who stayed, the source paints a picture of a total breakdown of society. We're talking rampant food and medicine shortages, the highest murder rate on the planet, political opponents being thrown in jail. I mean, the currency was literally less valuable than the paper it was printed on. A complete